about that. And here's what he had to say about it. He didn't like it. Listen.
I started speaking very quickly. It really was a loud, I disagree with it, by the way, but it was quite a chant. And I felt a little bit badly about it. But I will say this, I did, and I started speaking very quickly. But it started up rather fast, as you probably noticed.
So you'll tell your supporters never to say that again?
Well, I would say that. I was not happy with it. I disagree with it. But again, I didn't say that. They did, but I disagree with it.
But they were echoing what you said in your first tweet, that they should go back.
Well, I don't think if you examine it, I don't think you'll find that, but I disagree with it.
So he didn't like it, apparently.
Well, that is a tremendous relief to me, Steve. I was saddened. I was disappointed by his tweet that started this firestorm, and then when the crowd started that chant, I was appalled. I think that it was un-American. It was an attack that was a nativist, xenophobic, racist attack. I didn't like it, and I'm not alone. Ivanka, the president's daughter, also suggested to him that he had made perhaps a mistake in that initial send her back stuff. Go back to where you came from is the old racist trope that all of us, ethnic or racial minorities, have grown up with at various times. It is unforgivable at this day and age, and I really lament that it came up. I'm glad the president has said what he said, and I think that the crowds, if you love this president, then don't ever do that again at one of his rallies, because what you do is you diminish him. He is the glue that holds our republic together. He is the man that makes e pluribus unum work. Out of many, one. We cannot ever fall back into that lazy kind of the other that we did for several days.
Geraldo, but you, like many, have accused him of racism. But if you go back and look at that tweet, he's not talking about race. He's talking about whether or not you love this country and appreciate it. And if you don't appreciate it and don't love it and don't want to work to make it better, then maybe you could consider going somewhere else. There's plenty of countries on Earth.
Come on, Pete. This is their country. They're citizens of the United States.
He's talking about, in general, about the principles of our country.
If someone said that to you, you don't like it, you could leave.
Absolutely.
Some things are intolerable.
They can say that to me.
Intolerable. You cannot say that.
You could totally
say it to me.
Well, I could say it to you.
I've had 10 street fights based on that. Someone saying to me, because I'm Puerto Rican, go
because
back where you came from. I was born on 17th Street.
I'm not looking at the color of your skin. I'm looking at what you stand for, the principles of our country. White, black, otherwise, it's not about race.
Once you make nationhood and citizenship like that conditional on your political loyalties, you run a very dangerous path there, Major, and you should know that.
There's a lack of gratitude.
Geraldo, what about the fact that
a lot of people aren't grateful to be here? The gratitude is not a requirement of citizenship.
Of course not.
She is part of the so-called squad. What do you make of the president deciding essentially to call the things the squad would like to have on their agenda? Clearly, he's running against the squad as he, looks toward 2020.
Fair enough. I think that these four radical left-wing congresspeople, God bless their diversity and their the extraordinary achievement of them being elected AOC, the youngest member ever, the first Tlaib, the first Palestinian American, Omar, the first refugee, Presley, the first black woman to represent the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. These are extraordinary women. Their policies are, to me, undoable. They are impractical. They are, in many ways, a pie in the sky. Let the president run against their position. Let him run against their issues. He can beat them fair and square that way, because their position, Green New Deal and, free tuition and raising the minimum wage to $30 an hour and all these positions that they have are so untenable that he can beat them on the issues.
That's what he's doing, except they fall back every time and say, you can't attack me because I'm a woman of color. Marco Rubio made the same point. They want to play by their own rules of identity politics, and then he can't.
I'm going to ask you an honest question. Don't you wish he'd never said it? Don't you? If you support him,
he didn't say it. The crowd chanted it, and I support the tweets he sent out.
You do?
Earlier this week,
if you don't like it, go back to where? Go back to Detroit?
He didn't name who he was talking about.
Come
He's-
on.
All right, Geraldo, let's talk about MS-13 because we see all these people coming across the border, and we don't want the criminals in, we don't want the drugs in, we don't want MS-13 in. And the Citizenship and Immigration Services Director, Ken Cuccinelli, said that at least 3 MS-13 gang members charged in brutal slayings had deportation orders, and 5 were trying to take advantage of our asylum system. This is why he's sending the message to Congress, right? Saying we've got to do something about our borders so folks like this don't come in.
And I totally support him in that effort. MS-13 is a bunch of